Alrighty, let's jump in. Audio seems working. Let me check my video because I always forget to do that. We're good. All right, let's get into it. So today we're going to be looking at assets for the animation emoji and emote challenge. I'm going to be focusing on the animation, but we'll be going through just a quick run on how it all works. Hey, Agent, how Fractilians? How's it going? So let's jump in. Alrighty. So today we're going to be looking at basically a couple of things. So I'm going to pull up a space. Which one should we go to today? Actually, I'm a big fan. I like for testing things. I like this one because it's really simple and you can see the things really easily. I'm going to do that one. And it sounds nice. So let's go into the bright area so we can sort of see what we're doing. All right. So today we're going to be looking at the emoji and emote wheel. So if you press Z, you got the emojis, and you can basically make one of these. So you could add more down here. Now what this requires is a 256 by 256 image for the purposes of adding an icon here. And then when you're super happy, you can do that. So that's the emoji side of the challenge. I'm not going to be looking into that because that's just, you know, Photoshop. So yeah, PNG, transparent background. I think that's all we need for that one. Such emojis. And we also have basically our emote. So we're going to be looking at this today. So looking at different ways we can animate the avatar. And we're going to be looking at different ways to do that. So we're looking at Rokoko, which allows you to take a clip of you, put that into the studio, and then it will create an animation for the avatar, which we could use. We're also going to look at say for example, Mixamo. Maybe we'll look at that one. It's pretty quick. It's a good thing to know, just to create the rig that we could then animate in Blender. So we're going to be looking at those. No, this isn't a Hangout link. I'm going to be shutting this down. That said, that's actually a good idea. Let's create. Do we want to go here? Let's go here. Come hang out in the metaverse while we work on stuff. So, what do we need? We need... What do we need? What's the best way to go about it? We've got some links. So let's just start with Rokoko. We'll just do that. Okay. So let's have a look. What we need is to go to Rokoko. And I've forgotten all the... here we go. So the address you probably want to start with, anyway, is... Hang on. That one. What this allows you to do is... So video Rokoko... let's just go here, I guess. Video Rokoko allows you to record a video to use in Rokoko Studio. So you'll need those two things. So we'll get those. Now let's download. What's that? I forget the address. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so rokoko.com. We'll pop this. For that, we'll go to products and studio software as well. And then you'll need to install Download Studio. So the studio takes the video that you take in Video Rokoko, which is a website, and it will put that into Rokoko Studio, which will allow you to create the AI Mocap. So go download, install, and it'll look like that. And basically, yeah, we'll be creating some assets in order to do that. So I'm going to sign into Video Rokoko. Da. So I have one test that we can use, but we're going to create a new scene and do it from scratch. And then that'll be the mocap version. So let's call this workshop. Now you have two options. You can record using device camera, such as a webcam, or you can select a local video file. Now, select the local video file is very easy. It just allows you to drag and drop an asset there. But I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go back here. Workshop. And record using device camera. And then it actually allows you to use your webcam to create an asset. Let me check something though. Yep, no, that's fine. Yeah. Now, up here you have enabled mirror, and you also have a camera thing, which I did allow. So, so note, when this comes up, you'll probably have a little bar up here saying allow webcam camera for this browser. You can go allow, and then you can get frustrated when it doesn't allow it. So hopefully I can figure that out. What setting is that one? Privacy. Man. Site permissions? It says it's allowed. Let's try this. There we go. Okay. So, I tried resetting the permissions, that didn't work, so I'm not sure why that's happening. So what I'm going to do is go back and go to my previous test, and hopefully that'll work for you. There we go. Really classy animation. So this is what will happen. You'll have the video there in a record button. The record button takes about, I think, 3 to 6 seconds. Yeah, 3 to 6 seconds to start kicking in. So stand around for a bit to make sure that you start recording all of the information that you actually have. Um, and then do that, record it, and then this will come up. Now, down the bottom, and up the top there were two buttons. So the one was a mirror, so you can flip your webcam, and the other one is which camera that you want to use. And because it didn't really think I could do it, I couldn't adjust that anyway. Hopefully you will have better luck. So once you have recorded your content, you can crop the element. Very professional here. You can crop the video that you want to sort of use for the mocap animation. Now, note this is actually not a very good video on the grounds that it can't see the legs. And there was a problem with that with the rig itself. So it started sort of crouched. So if you can, I highly recommend using a full body shot. It also recommends not using like loose clothing and stuff, so it can better track what it's meant to be doing. So keep those in mind. Once you've got that, you can sort of play. I'm doing the worst thing here. It's like, yeah. So that's what we're working with. And that's a bit long, so let's go back down to about 6. You want to get this as short as possible, purely because it takes time to mocap the information with AI. So reduce that as much as possible. And then you've got that. Now, if you want to, you could create new clips. So video takes, if you want to do different videos. We have delete this video if you don't like it much. And then you've got turn into animation, which is what we're going to be looking at. So let's do that. It'll take a while, depending on how long your animation is and how complex it is. Yes. Now the reason for that is because I, like, without excessive amounts of work, I can't get a full body. My apartment is too small. So do what I say, don't do what I do. No, actually, I'm going to take that back. I'm doing this on purpose so I can show you how to fix it in Blender afterwards. Okay. So the animation clip has been created. We're in Rokoko Studio, which hopefully you are installing in Team Mat Team. So if I want to, I can rename this. That. And that's basically it for this. Now I'm going to leave this open just in case. But then I'm going to close that and then open Rokoko. Now, no, when you open Rokoko Studio for the first time, you actually have to sign in through the web browser. So I'm already signed in, but it will say open, like it will open a browser. You'll sign in there, then it'll take you to Teams, but then you have to go back to Rokoko Studio. So it's a bit of an interesting one. Now you have some tutorials here if you want to learn a bit more about how to using the studio. Then we've got some sample scenes, but we've got this test 1. So let's go projects and test 01, I believe. Yeah. Now you can see here, over here, we've got our 2 recordings that we did in the studio. So we've got all this information here. Now if you want to see it though, double click on it. Whoops. Turn that off. Off. And there we go. And this is a prime example of why you use a full body. uh, but therefore, it does the tracking. So what I could do is use the black marker up the top here to sort of move it a bit more accurate to where I want to go. I think to about there was good. We don't need to go as much as that. So there. Now I'm assuming that your animation is going to be a lot more interesting than mine. So keep that in mind. Um, but that's basically what it does. So it uses your clip to mocap your model, and then we can export that model into a what do you call it? What do you call it? A rig. That's the one. And then we can actually like save that, and that's basically the entry. Now the thing is with this though, you'll probably need to clean it up. So, say if you look at the legs here, they're a bit off. Like they're good there, but that's in the middle of the animation. So I'd probably want to grab sort of those two frames and then move it and copy it down to here. So we'll be looking at how to do that in Blender as well. Now for that, we need to export it. Now over on the right, we have devices, live stream, and export. So we want the export. Click on body mesh. The settings I use, and they seem fine, is basically Mixamo. There are other options. They don't have a Unity one, unfortunately, but yeah. So I just use Mixamo. I think I leave all of these pretty much the same. T-pose, rest pose, binary. I will change the frame rate to 30 because I believe Mona uses 30 as a base. Include reference pose might be turned on. I turn it off because we don't need it. And that's it. If you scroll down, we have where you want to export it to. Now, if you click on that, it opens the export folder. We actually want the dot dot dot, and that can change to where you want to save the file. And then we have export clip. I believe that's what we want. So export clip. Then you can go open folder. And there we go. New recording Mixamo. I'm going to change this to 0.02 and done. All right. How's the chat going? Any questions with Rokoko? Rokoko. So the video or the studio? I think the main things that sort of took me a second to figure out was the fact that I had to double click on this. So just clicking on it doesn't do anything. So you double click on this to go to the animation, tweak these, and then use the tools over here to export it. I think that's about it. There we go. I'll wait. It's fine. um, Now, if you upgrade the plan, for example, you can do live stream. I think you can also feed this information straight into Unity or Unreal. So there's a few plugins for that sort of thing. So if you look at that, but that you need to upgrade the plan. So let's have a look at the prices. There is a Studio Plus for 30 days. As well, which is pretty cool. When I seen in here, where's right, let's do it this way. Store. They also have really cool motion capture cool like tools. They have the suit and they have the gloves, and I really want one now. I was like, damn it. Sure, that's not too much. Half price, a whole suit for a thing. Makes sense. Like, hands are pretty detailed. Kind of wanna. Anyway, yeah, it's really good. I haven't used it before because I haven't done that much animation. Um, but I kind of want to find the prices now. Pricing. There we go. Okay, so just a heads up, because why not? Um, basically, 20% off for annual. That's pretty good. $20 a month for Plus, and that allows you to do live streaming with plugins including Unity, Unreal, Maya, Blender, and 7 days of continuous offline use if you need that. But the big thing is there is live stream. So if you want to do like for example a Mona live stream with a mocapped avatar that you could feed into a Mona space, like that would be the way to go, which is pretty cool. Yes, so we use the starter kit. So I just signed in and using a starter. That allows you to record the clip in video Rokoko, and then it will turn that into a rig. So you need to pay if you want live streaming. But if you just want to do some sort of AI mocap, so record a camera full body version of yourself, it can do that for free. Um, so yeah, this one here. So cloud storage, real-time preview of your mocap data, playback and filter mocap, export to all formats, which was very, very useful. Access to ready-made animation assets in Motion Library itself, service support, help center a community in one day of continuous online use. So very useful. Yeah, I think if you had a like a well-known, or not even, if you had a cool VRM avatar that you could hook into Unity or Unreal if you want things to look better for the live stream. But that said, you'd be having like a lot of things running on your computer, so have a good computer for that one. But you could create a live stream result using your avatar in a Mona space and either have a similar avatar walking about, or I kind of like the idea of only having one avatar. So if you're doing a live stream with your avatar, it shouldn't be in the space as well. But that's just me. Uh, the thing is also, there's elements of regards to instancing. So if you have like a big event, you can only have 100 people in a space. So if you had a live stream, that should feed to all of them, but your character would only be in one of them. So that's a good way to sort of get around that if you want to be everywhere. So there's that. All right, cool. So I think that's it for Rokoko. I'll keep that handy just in case anyone asks any questions. I will. Yeah, I'll just reduce that. Now, let's take that into Blender. So we got import. Now we exported it as an FBX. Where did I put it? Hmm. Okay, so point two, I think I called it. Yeah. Now, things to note when you're importing it, make sure to turn these off. So select that, go down to armature, ignore leaf bones, force glitch and automatic bone orientation. That seems to work well. If memory has it right. And then go import. There we go. So we have our animation. Yeah. Excellent. So as you can see, the legs are a little bit something. um, but we can sort of fix that. Now, once this is done, yeah. Well, I do call it an empire for a reason. Now, the thing is, note that there are actually two assets here. So we have sort of, what do you call it? I don't know what you call it. So you have the bones, which have the actual animation, and then you actually have a rig here, which doesn't have the animation. We want the bones. So if you think about it, these assets, including the head, are just a model. Yeah. It's just a model. So we could delete it, but I'm gonna leave it because I kind of want the head there. But this is what we're going to be playing with today. So let's have a look. So what do I want to do? I want to fix the legs for sure. I like the movement. Like I like having a really stiff character is not ideal. Um, so you actually want to sort of create a better overall movement. So maybe there. Then that little leg movement's actually not that bad. And then we want to create that at the end again. So for that, I'm going to select the avatar, which we've had, and then go to Object Pose. And then we start doing all the things. Now, there's a couple of things for animation. You can, the two methods that I usually recommend, well, I will usually do is I'll press the auto keying button down here. So any changes I do will be automatically keyframed. The other approach is when you press or right click, you got insert keyframe, and then you can assign which keyframes are made, either location, rotation, or scale, things like that. So you have that choice to bounce between those two animation types. Let's have a look. So fixing legs. Where's a good one? Yeah, I like that kind of set to the side. Let's go maybe there. Okay. So I'm going to select the legs and the pelvis, I think. Hang on. Yep, that's selected. I'm just putting on wireframe up here so I can see everything if I want to. And then we can select all of those by just pressing delete. I'm going to select that one, go Control C, go back to the start, Control copy buffer empty. Okay, let's try this one. Copy, paste. So I like that movement. So I'm going to grab maybe from here. So this one, because I like that. So copy. Let's sort of put that in the middle. Paste. A lot of moving about. And things get a bit weird at the end here. So I'm going to stop to where I want it. So maybe there. And then get rid of them. so. Grab this one, because what we do want is everything to be a loop. So I'm actually going to grab all of these bones. Grab that first one. Copy. I don't know why Control Paste doesn't work. It did there though. So now another thing I can do, this is very important with the looping part, is say I want to loop at 120. I'm going to change this to 120. So it does that. So when I press play, it'll just loop like so. Press play. As you can see, the loop is smooth. Now, this is very important, especially with the animation. So if you want to create a good loop, the first and last frame need to be basically the same thing. Now, the best way to do that is grab all your bones, copy that, and put it on the last frame. If you have a little bit of a lean in, it'll sort of transition between the two a bit smoothly, so that'll be good. Now, one thing with the mocap Rokoko approach is you don't get the fingers. So we're going to have to actually play with that because I want an actual point. Get too much movement in the legs, but I'm sure you get the idea. All right, now let's have a look at the hands. So, just want the hands. So if in this case, I just want the hands. There we go. Now for these ones, what I'm going to do is actually remove all of the keyframes. Again, select them all, delete. No, like the mocap's not that good. I'll probably get the pronunciation of this wrong, but so my apologies. Hey, Love Kush, how's it going? Great. I'm happy that you're having a good experience with Mona so far. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Now, Argent, yes, with the video, capturing the fingers is a little like that's a tall order. Trying to get proper mocapped information from fingers on a webcam footage. So yes, unfortunately, the what do you call them? Fingers. That's the one. Will not be tracked. That said, they're easy to animate. So I want it's like down, like hands, up, down, and then okay, cool. So let's grab that again. We're gonna go up. Let me go to maybe there. Oh, animating the hands manually is easy. In that, I'm going to show you how to do it now. But yeah, the hands will literally be like this if you're tracking with Rokoko. I don't think it has the detail yet to do that, which is reasonable, I think. So we're going to go to about there. And then I'm going to put record on and then start animating these. Now, a couple of things for actually manually animating is if you go to global, make sure it goes to local. So that when you rotate the bones, especially using XYZ, it'll use the right axes to do so. I'm also going to do individual origins there. So when I multi-select, it will rotate each one separately. So I'm going to select those three. Actually, I'm going to select all of these because I want to rotate all of them. And then go R. So you got that, but that's on the angle of the camera. So I'm going to pry Y, and that's not what we want. We want X, maybe X, Z. There we go. Right. So that does that because we split that up. If I did medium point, which is kind of the default, and go rotate Z, it only does like the base, I think, I guess. So yeah, that's one way to get around that. Individual origins and on local. If it's on global, for example, if we do that again, kind of works, but you can see it sort of ties because it goes on that z-axis on the whole space, which we don't want either. So yeah, these two are actually very important to help with the animation. So let's do it again. R to rotate, Z or that. Now notice how we've got record on, and it will do that, which is kind of what we want. Now let's take this one. These three. Is that how thumbs work? Yeah. Excellent. Now I can, I believe, stick. So I can copy these, copy, and then I can paste flipped. In theory. Well, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Oh man. That would have been cool. So let's do that again. Because I want to try something. So now we have pose options up here. We can just go X there. What's that one do? Yeah, so that's symmetry. So a shorter way, because the copy didn't work, unfortunately. Ah, interesting. If there's other older tools here. No. Well, that's frustrating, isn't it? Oh well. Okay. So, turns out that the x-axis isn't as x-axis-y as I would expect. Not particularly sure why. So we're going to have to do it manually, which, to be honest, isn't that hard. So let's do these again. Rotate. Not that one. Let's go Y. Not that one. X. That's the one. And then these two are Z. Down there. Z. In. Nope, this one there. X if I recall. Yep. Z. There we go. All right. So up, fold in, and then on that one, yeah, there. We want to point. I'm also going to adjust that in a second, but no, I'll do it now. Now that one I can just do that. Now, because we deleted all of the keyframes, we have complete control over the hands, if that makes sense. So if you had all of the dots, say for example those, you have to choose uh, like if you had a keyframe here, a keyframe here, and a keyframe here, and you switch this one, this would be very quick. So animation is all about keyframes, and when you import something, it's all keyframes. So if you're trying to clean up an area, make sure to select which ones are keyframes and which ones are not. If that makes sense. So yeah. All right. This one top here. So these are non-changing areas, and this would be a changing area, if that makes sense. So it kind of makes it a bit clearer in Blender how that works, which is really quite good. Uh, that it's pretty funny. Um, Now notice how the fingers are moving again because this point is flat. So it's going to transition from all that, which is not what we really want because we want to keep that hand as is for the point section. So I'm going to copy that again. Now note the orange, the things that are orange are what's selected. So make sure to, I find it easier if you click off and then on to what you want. Um, Sometimes when you click something, it does not select correctly. So that's just the way that I make sure that what I want is selected. So we want that to go to maybe there. So paste. Now I could, I think we want to get back to sort of like a fist position here. So I'm going to copy both of them. Copy. Do, do, do. To about there. Like so. Back. And then down. All right. So basically, we have our animation. Now, of course, if I was going to enter this into the emote competition, I would clean it up more. But we don't have the hours for that. So I'd probably clean up the legs a little bit. I kind of want to do it now. So I don't mind it, but it's just a little bit. So what I'm going to do for this is, and I'm going to include the pelvis as well. So I'm just going to delete, say every 10. Just see how that looks. As you can see, it's a little bit smoother. So it depends on what you're going for. So there's a 2. So we got, yeah, there we go. I'll get rid of that one as well because that seems a bit weird. Now, the problem there is that big area is kind of like really too stiff, so I'm actually going to move them up a little bit, space these out. All right. And that's okay. I think that capture is pretty good. Okay. So basically, we've got an animation done. So let's just play that. Done. So it's got a nice loop. Um, it's less than, I think it's 30 seconds for the competition. Like, this is a very short animation. But of course, animations could be anything. So with the gestures that you create, it could be sitting, it could be pointing, it could be dance. Like, dances is definitely the way to go. Any gesture you want could be submitted for the competition to win a bunch of money. So go do that. It's cool. Now, let's move on. So let's turn that off and export this as well. Now, get out of object mode. Select everything, and then, well, select everything that you want to export, and then just go export FBX. Now, I believe that would be enough to submit if you want. I think we'll be taking those FBXs, putting them into Unity, and checking it with the humanoid animation, but we'll be doing that now, which I'd recommend doing anyway, because it's useful. Pardon me. So let's go point. Do we want to name it? No, I'll do 0.3. Just to be sure. So selected objects. Yep, that's it. Actually, I'm going to check something. Yeah. So I know the scale is a bit off. And that's pretty important when getting it into Unity. So I'm going to just check something. So I'm going to add a cube. So this is a 2 by 2 meter cube. So that seems like there seems the right size, but the scale is very much off. So what I'm going to do, just to be sure, is be in object mode, select the two things that we're looking at, or all of the assets there, and then go Control A. That will bring up apply transforms, and I'm going to go all transforms. No, I'm not. Cancel that. I wonder why. Hang on. So the head's fine. Okay, I'm going to try one more thing. A scale. Does not like that. Didn't work. I thought it might, though. I'm with you. That's what I thought. Why is it orange? Because it animates. Because the recorder's on? No, it wasn't on. Okay, let's do a test. Maybe it'll just work. Like, the meshes are fine, and maybe that's the only thing that matters. So, fingers crossed, I guess. Usually, And if you're doing assets, maybe not rigs, but if you're doing assets, that's usually very important. So we'll have to test this and see how it goes. But I apologize if the server just went, like, OBS just shut down for some reason. Well, not shut down, but disconnect. But anyway, okay. Now these are the settings I'm going to use. I'm going to leave the add leaf bones because there is no head bone, and I'm hoping that a leaf bone will just sort of like add one here. But we'll see. Ah, okay. Oh, this one there. On the armature? Here? I don't think we have it. That's fine. We'll give it a shot. Always weird when it doesn't do things that I want it to do. What do we got? Let's go React to basics. Oh, there we go. So if you were paying attention to the Reactor tutorials, this is some of the things we were going to be. I'm going to be adding these to the library soon at some point. So there's that. Now let's do this. So, I'm going to close that. We're going to look at too many animations here. I'm going to start a new folder to keep this organized. Avatar. And we're going to drag in 0.3. Now, notice how the 0.3 is smaller now because we took out a lot of the keyframes. So that's probably quite a good thing to do as well. Because like the original was like nearly a meg. Now it's about half that. So cleaning up your keyframes that aren't used, very good in regards to file size, which it's good to do. Okay. So if you have your rig, we can just go to humanoid and then go apply. And there are some errors, so let's have a look at those. Now, once again, we might be figuring this out, if that makes sense. Do that. There we go. So with a lot of these, why doesn't that work? Ah, T-pose. Gotcha. Um, Interesting. There we go. That was easy. So basically, we want to go to humanoid, and then apply. So humanoid, create from this model, and then configure. If there's any issues, for example, there's a big error up here saying not in T-pose, you do have the ability down here to go pose enforce T-pose, and then apply that, and that should be fine. Now, you can... How did I do it? There was a cool thing. Oh no, how did we do it? Where'd it go? Ah, this one. I think. Yeah. So if you go on the animation, not the mesh, because the mesh is the mesh. So if you go on the animation, if you want to, you could actually use this little icon here and go Unity model, and then you see this guy. So that's quite useful. And then when you play, yeah. So that's basically it, really. So that arm's a bit interesting. So I'm going to look into that in a sec. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, so what I'm going to do there, clean that up a bit. Um, and that's what we really want is just hair. Um, so what I'm going to do now is try and fix the no, not that button. This one, close mode. Okay, so we want to kind of get rid of that. And for that, I'm going to sort of select these, go here, and I think 5 was good, so I'm going to get rid of those 3. And I'm actually just going to copy that one. So copy, paste. Probably be better than that. And then, cool. And then I'm going to paste that again at the end to make sure that it loops. And I might even rotate these a little myself, just to kind of really drive that. So there. Ah, make sure to put the record on. So once again, just cleaning some of these things up to make it line kind of where I want it to. Now notice how the torso is a bit that way. I'm okay with that. Let's go copy. No, on everything. Copy. Paste. But do note, and I do this all the time, make sure the record button is on when you're doing animation. I forget it all the time. It is so frustrating. You do all this really cool stuff, and it's like, probably. Hang on. I don't like that. being very precise at this point. I'm going to get rid of some of these. Three. Once again, because you get that blend. Otherwise, it'll be a bit weird. Once again, I'm going to actually grab... Oops, nope. All of these. Nah. Selection is certainly interesting. Well, there we go. Yeah, much better. Arms that work. And once again, the animation would be smaller. So if you wanted to, you could actually... no, fine. I could like delete a lot of these frames, pretty much from everything if I wanted to. So every second frame I could actually just get rid of. So it depends on how optimized you want your asset to be, things like that. And they do add up over time. So yeah. Anyway, that'll do. Go out of pose mode. Select all. And then export again. Now I'm going to override that. I go into here. Why? What? Ah, because I didn't... Yeah, okay. Because I'm an idiot. I'm going to drag and drop that in there. Get rid of the original. Rename this one. Go to the animation. And there, that's better. Select our Unity model. Ah. Ah. So because we okay. So because I copied it into Unity and then tweaked the information, when I save over the top, it doesn't update the things. So a good thing to do is make sure that you save your asset into the Unity file directly. So when you update the file, all of the changes that you've made are automatically there. That said, I did this on purpose to show you the process again, just in case you forget. So, once again, click on the object itself, go rig in the inspector, change that to humanoid, go apply. You may have issues depending, so open import messages fold out. I'm kind of interested to see that. Where's that then? Where's the folder? Oh, there. So, missing or invalid transform required human bone head not found. Now, that's fine because we can configure this. So go to head. And then... Where is it? Now, I think this is because I added the leaf bones. So the neck end would be thing. And then neck end would be added. The thing is, what you could do if you wanted to is actually add a head bone manually. So we could do that in a sec, actually. But if you wanted to, you could just go by with putting the neck end there. And that's good. The other thing we need to do is make sure the pose is enforce T-pose. And then go apply. Done. Now, also, another tool you can use with modifying your animation is going to the animation tab. And you can start playing around with the labels down here. So I don't particularly like reference slash clip slash base layer. So I can, if I want to, just go point. And then when you go apply, your animation will be renamed. Now, if you want to, you could actually create multiple animations here. So I got different clips. So if I had a really long animation with 5 different separate animations, I could sort of go from frame 0 to 20, create that animation, and then you go plus, and sort of go 0.2 to 22 to 119, whatever you want, and then go apply, and then you have a bunch of animations getting made in your asset. Now, in this case, I don't want that. I just want the one. So I think it was 119. And then go apply. But the thing is, I do want this to loop. Actually, I don't. So if this was a dancing animation, I would definitely make that loop time. So it loops over and over and over. Now, in this case, I just wanted to point and then stop. Now, it may not matter because Mona... Oh, how? No, I think it loops anyway. So I might look into that because that would be a useful thing. So yeah, loop time is an option to add there. But yeah, so that tool allows you to modify the animation a little bit more if you want. Then let's see our result. Yeah. Okay. So that's it mostly for this session. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I would be happy to look into a rig from Mixamo, for example. So we could get a rig from Mixamo and then do a quick animation on that. And that would allow you to sort of animate a character that's defined for you. The other option, announcements channel. Let me get that link. Pretty sure I got it from there. Yes, here we go. Everyone go get this. um, so to get it, basically I go to download here. I'll just download that. Usually comes up here. What are we downloading it to? Ah, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to put this in my Unity space directly. So then when I update it, it'll be where I want it to be. So let's do that. Ah, this was on the reactor one, wasn't it? Ah, where was it? Workshop. Yeah, there we go. So I think we did avatar. So put this is avatar FBX. So that's cool. Get rid of that. So note that the download might be a little bit slow. Now let's open that. Import that, sorry. FBX. Come on. Import. Yeah. Now, with the default avatar, because it has some animation in it, we need to get rid of that. So I'm going to put this to 5,000. And then use the scroll to scroll. And then I'm just going to click here and then select all of that and go goodbye. Right. Then we can select the avatar or the rig, sorry, go to pose. Now, note if you do this and go pose, it won't because it's not a rig. So make sure that I could, if you wanted to, select shift and then go pose because the last thing selected is good, but I don't recommend that. That is useful for weight painting, however. Just a moment. Um, so if you're weight painting and say you wanted to tweak something, this you would, what is it? You select this, the rig, and then you select this, and then you go. What? No, why? There we go. And then you go weight paint, and that allows you to hold control, and then you can actually select the bone um, to make sure that you see where the weight painting is. So if you look at that, it shows you where you can paint, and then if you wanted to, you could add some weight painting there. So that's a bit of a workaround with weight painting in Blender if you want to go that approach. That said, we're not looking at that this lesson, this session, whatever you want to call it. We just want to animate. So with that. Now, once again, basically the same thing applies. So removing all the keyframes, you can put record on and then do whatever you want. So I'm going to right mouse click. Ah, might help if I'm in pose mode. Select all that. Go insert keyframe, location, rotation, scale. And therefore that's the start. Now, you could start there or start with a different animation. You can reduce this now because we don't need that much. I'm probably going to go to, let's say, I don't know, 500. There we go. Right. So that would apply with all the animation that we've uh, done so far, if that makes sense. So you would go into your assets and animate as you see fit. Da, da, da. But this shows you a little bit more like this. This is what you can use to show what you're doing with the character. Now, I have noticed that these may be in the right location for eyes. I think if the preview model eyes are correct, then this should be fine. So unfortunately, those face the wrong direction, but should be the right direction, from what I can tell. So there's that. But yeah, so that's two different ways, three different ways, many different ways that you can create an animation for the animation or emote challenge. The main thing to note is that the rig needs to be, let's say, humanoid compatible. So importing it into Unity, turning it into a humanoid, making sure that the bones align would be a good way to do that. One recommendation to save a bit of messing about is to what do you call it? Maybe do that in Unity and then export that FBX once done. That might improve your chances of checking or save us a bit of time when we're testing your avatar. So there's that. Gotcha. That's what that means. Why? Huh. Okay. Yeah, didn't realize the Discord was up. Why did that pop up? That's weird. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I think we might wrap it up there. It's an hour and a half of animation. Um, yeah, so the T pose is pretty important for the humanoid element. Luckily, it has that button there to set that up. I'm not sure. Hmm. I'm wondering. There is a way, and I think I did do a doc on this. There is a way to change the rest position, which I think is the T-pose situation. Um, that said, the doing it in Unity is actually a lot easier. So stick with that. Um, so yeah. All right. Unless there's any other questions in the chat, I'm more than happy to take that on board. Otherwise, we might wrap it up there. I think it's a good spot to end the chat, end the session. Um, as noted, the other things you could do could you can of course animate in any application that does animation. So this includes Maya, Max, things like that. Um, One thing I didn't cover, and I haven't had time to play with actually, is Cascadeur. Um, so let's do it. Let's do a weird. I hate the spelling of this game. There we go. So from here is me figuring this out. I haven't used Cascadeur. I've been meaning to for a very long time. But basically, what it does is some really interesting AI based animation types. Um, so there's 20,000 tutorials on this, but what it basically does is it kind of adjusts a lot of the animation sort of AI-ly. Is that a word? It is now. Um, so it allows you to sort of do some really interesting stuff much faster than usual. So of course you've got lots of tutorials in YouTube and whatnot. Once again, cascadeur.com. There is a free version. There are limits, but that's probably fine for us for what we're doing. 300 frames is a bit short. Um, and I'm wondering if you could join them together in Blender afterwards or something. But yeah, so yeah, it's a little pricey in regards to subscriptions, but $25 a month, like that's like Adobe, the same sort of thing as Adobe. So you got that element. That said, I'm assuming that free is going to be fine for, especially the competition. Now, I think I already installed it? Yes. So download, install, and then we have the application here. I don't have an account. I don't think. I think it's the first time to do it. So don't mind me while I make a Cascadeur account. So you have to sign in, then you have to verify your email address. Once again, I'm doing this on purpose to show you how to do it. Kinda. Note that the email might come to your junk email because it did with me. So be sure to do that. Then you have to do a little thing. So what am I? That's one, I guess. Education and games. Ah, no. Why? Education. I think education. I'm a education mentor. I'm what? I don't even know what half of those are. Non-manager, I guess. How did I find out? Let's go friend. Word of mouth. Continue. All right. So we got all that, and then I think it's download, but I've already done that. So let's go again. Then we can sign in. Hide it. Go. I'm definitely on the dark. All of things. We want new one. New, please. Cool. Now I'm going in blind, so I don't know what I'm doing. Import FBX model. Let's go to our guy, and hopefully that will work neatly. So avatar. Enter rig mode to rig, yes. For humanoid characters, it's best to use quick rigging tool, yes. The character could not be fully recognized. Please check if all bones match and add rig elements at the bottom of the window. Okay. Well, this is all very neat, isn't it? What's missing? Doesn't like our shoulders. Can I just drag it onto that? Oh, we can. That's cool. Do that. Do right. Right. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Left. Hands. Yep, we also need legs. I think they're up here. Yep, cool. Left. Yep. Nope. That one. What's that one? Spine, no chest. So let's go upper chest. Yeah, let's do that. Sure. Oh, you can do the whole hand too. I should do it, but um, for time, I'm not gonna do it. Give it a shot. Okay. Generate rig. Okay. Do. So it kind of like it does things easier. It's really quite interesting, actually, how this works overall. Um, but ah, okay, space changes the perspective. How do I move things around? Ah, there we go. Okay, Alt, Alt left click, Alt middle click. Sort of moves things around. There we go. So that's that. Okay. So let's do some weird versions. Let's see what we can come up with. What do we got here? Create cycle with offset. Create cycle. Don't know what those are. Yeah, it looks really cool. So it's gonna be interesting to see how all this works. Add or remove key. There we go. Where's the record button? Is that it? The record button. What's that one? Black. Global mode. Local tail mode. That sounds fun. Physics. Yeah. Snap to autophysics. Freeze autophysics. Interesting. Okay. So if you don't put a keyframe, it will snap. But if you put a keyframe down, then you've got that. Do, do, do. Yeah? Yeah. Why is there no keyframing? What? Way. Interesting. There we go. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Um, what other cool things? I'd have to watch the tutorials for how to do that. But on my own, I figured out how to do basic animation. So from what I understand, what's that one do? Okay, from my initial interpretation of how this app works, go to where you want, press the key, make the modification, um, tweaking the type of what would you call it? Um, curve, I guess you could say. Now you could just flip between them. So initially it starts with the straight one, which you don't really want because that. Um, this one sort of does the same thing. This one's a bit better. And then you just look looking at different, slightly different curves there. So I'm going to leave that open because I think that's pretty important and very useful. Um, different IK types. Is that tweak here? Oh, interesting. That as well. So yeah. But there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do in here that allows you to play with. Oh, is this it? Okay, so you got IK, FK keyframes. Lots of options. Now let's delete those. Can I delete those? No. Uh, Not sure. We can find out. I'd like to learn how to delete something though. Ah, just turn it off. There we go. Hey, time. Time. Whichever one you work with. Um, all right. Let's see if we can delete. Okay. Import. Let's just go new and see if we can import the FBX we got from Rokoko. Actually, animation. Yeah, 0.3. Let's see. Is it thinking about it? What's it doing? Yeah, AI is not the best word for it. Physics animation is probably a better word for this tool, I think. Okay. Let's try that again. Add animation to selected frames. Ah, to selected objects. That's interesting. Ooh, let's try that. Oh, I did it? Okay. My screen's too big. I didn't see down that far. um, I'm going to try something because this would be really cool if it works. I don't know if it will, though. I'm going to have to do it all over again. Dang it. Okay. One moment. Right. Why doesn't it recognize it? Like these are really easy to pick up. That said, doesn't take long at all, so it's fine. So what I'm hoping to do, and I don't know if this is going to work at all, but basically, I'm hoping that we can import the animation that we made onto this one. So selected objects, which is that, hopefully. File, import, animation to selected objects. Point. No, is the answer to that. Um, so I'm not sure why that one doesn't work. Try this last one. Yeah. Not too sure why. Could be a Rokoko thing, could be a Blender thing, could be a Cascadeur thing. Not too sure, to be honest. Um, so, what other methods could you use? Not too sure about that one. Ah, cool. Ah, why does everything else work and not that one? Oh, hmm. So yeah, so AI animation is 100% of not AI. Physics-based animation is basically the goal here. Um, so let's do a quick animation to test, and then see. Then we'll probably wrap it up after the 2 hours thing. So I'm going to see how long it takes to do the point animation with this in mind. So I'm going to put a keyframe there. Rotate that a bit. Where's rotate? Just pressing all the buttons at this point. See what happens. There we go. Why doesn't that one work? There we go. Can't say I'm a fan of the alt to rotate, but anyway. Can we scale? That'd be weird. What have I done? I pressed too many buttons. Broken everything. Oh, that's cool. Dunk, dunk. Ah! Um, can I just undo everything? I've kind of messed things up a bit. Start from scratch. There we go. Done. Generate rig. I messed up. Note for new programs: don't press all the buttons and hope for the best. It will not work in your favor. Um, so for me to do that, I'm not going to do that because otherwise it'll just wasting time. I think. So yes, the main thing from Cascadeur, from what I can tell though, is put the keyframe on the frame that you want and then animate it. And then if you want to remove the keyframe, you just press that again. Delete does not work, which is an interesting choice, but every app to themselves, I guess you could say. Um, Now, when it comes to IK, basically you have the choice of if you haven't got into animation very much, like you got IK and forward kinematics, so FK. Inverse kinematics will sort of how to explain this. Forward inverse kinematics will sort of grab the end. So say you grab the hand, the arm and things will move to that location. Forward kinematics works from like the top down, so you have to move the um, the arm from the shoulder and the forearm and all the rest of it. So bouncing between those two will allow you to sort of have a bit more control over how your asset gets animated, basically. And in this application, that's based on sort of physics, the how you move your character affects how the character balances itself. So the end result will probably lean towards a more realistic approach to animation, which is pretty important for pretty much anything. So yeah, Cascadeur is a really cool thing, and it's free. Once again, you have a limit on 300 frames, which is quite a bit of time. Um, so once again, Alt um, on the gray bit, or down here as well. So you can sort of scroll up and down to go there. And I believe you have up until 300 frames, which is do 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 do. Do. More than enough time to do a dance or a gesture or wave or nod or shake or whatever you like. Um, so yeah, pretty good deal for using this in animation. Okay, all right. I'm gonna wrap it up there. Close to the 2 hour mark, unless you have any other questions about any of the process for the animation emote challenge. Once again, don't forget that there is the emoji challenge, which is the emote thing. No, the emoji. Once again, 256 by 256 with a transparent background as a PNG. That will be all you need to submit for that. So it depends on what your vibe is, emoji or emotes. Also, I've got 10 minutes if you have any questions in regards to Mona in general. Any techniques, problems you might be having. Happy to answer all of that. I really like this shooting gallery. I need to make a proper one. I can't do that one because the thing. This one, what's this one? Teleport, if I recall. Yeah. Yeah. um, yeah. And that's the thing. Like playing around with it, you'll probably have 20,000 questions, and that's fine. Feel free to ask them in the Discord at your leisure. Um, Probably in support or tech support. Either one's fine. Um, and yeah, looking forward to seeing what people come up with. I think it should be fun. Uh, Animations add a whole dimension of life, I think, to a space. Um, and I'm looking forward to sort of what would you say? Um, what do I say? Being able to add to the wheel so we can have more expressive environments that allow us to, I don't know, communicate better. I think that's a lot of fun. Because this is exactly what alcoholism is like. From the many years of drinking in Japan, this is accurate. You're drunk for 10 seconds, if I recall. Yeah, all right. Well, there's no questions. Fine then. I'll leave you to it. Have a good day. Happy building. Thanks for joining in. And look forward to seeing what wonderful creations you bring to the table. And yeah, jump in the Discord, jump into spaces. Actually, let's have a quick look at the events. So we got this one now. We got the Let's Break Things workshop at 3 a.m. Japan Standard Time. I don't know what that time is normal. Um, so that's with Fractalians and Rizzle doing their madness, which is great. And then, of course, we have the community call on Friday. So make sure to jump in those if you can. The details of those in your local time zone are on the Discord events page. So check those out. I can never make them because they're like crazy early in the morning. And as much as I usually stay up until 2 or 3, like 4 is just... It's a bit too early. So I got that. Alright. Okay. Have a good day. Catch you later. And see ya.